Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. I'm your host, Buck Hollywood LeDuc, joined by, as always, Chadley J. Fox, and we're about to step through an excursion. Chad.
Yeah, we're about to go through a wormhole we can't come back from.
I'm already mad I agreed to this, and it's only the first day.
Yeah, it's insane, but also it's going to be great. So this is the 7 days, 7 podcasts, Calgary Underground Film Festival specials.
Yeah, it's like Hanukkah.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a podcast every single day, except for Sunday, in which case we are doing 2 podcasts.
It's the 8 days of pod, Chadley.
Yeah.
This is Hanukkah for us.
Chanika? That might be offensive. My bad.
I don't know about that.
So welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. We got a lot of really fun stuff. Of course, today was the first day of Calgary Underground Film Festival. If you were there, thanks for coming out. It was a lot of fun. If you were not there, make sure you check out the rest of the week. You can just Google Calgary Underground Film Festival, and you can find it that way.
All right.
Buy some
Enough
tickets.
advertising for them. They're not paying us.
They should be, though. Please pay us. Please.
Oh,
please.
give me money.
Give me your money. Give me your money. We're doing advertising for you. So today was the premiere. We watched Little Monsters starring Lupita Nyong'o. I forget what the guy's name was, and then of course Josh Gad as well. And we'll be talking about that. But because there was only one film, we decided to toss a couple others in here. We're going to continue our Universal Monster Retrospective.
If you've been listening to the regular pod, that's something we're doing right now. If you haven't, welcome.
Well, yeah, welcome, good friends. Welcome to the new season.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of people for this episode because people love festival episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course they love festival episodes because the festivals are the most fun. And you get to see stuff early. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to continue our Universal Monster Retrospective with Son of Frankenstein. That's interesting stuff right there. And then we are watching one other film. We got to go to the early screening of Curse of La Llorona. Am I saying that right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds almost right. Not quite, but almost right. And that's, of course, the new movie in the Conjuring franchise. WB had us out last week. Thanks, guys, for doing that. And we'll talk about that. Now, the movie's out at this point, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We saw the early screening. Doesn't fucking matter. Cue that theme song, my boy.
I'm afraid.
Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start. I don't feel so good.
You can practically see it from here. What?
Fast. Oh, man. You know what's crazy, Buck? Is that we are literally one film out of the 20 films that we're going to be seeing at Calgary Underground Film Festival in, and I'm tired.
Yeah, you're so tired.
Dude, I'm really tired.
Grandpa needs to sleep.
Yeah, Grandpa needs to take a little nap ski. So immediately after this podcast, I'm going to sleep for 15 hours before the next movie's tomorrow night, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. The first movie that we're going to be talking about today is the Calgary Underground Film Festival opening film called Little Monsters. So this movie, I like this movie. Actually, I really like this movie.
It's fun. It's very funny. It's directed by Forsyth.
Yeah, I like that. That's a fun name. That's a fun Australian guy name.
It's a super Australian name. He had a little intro.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was like clearly filmed on a webcam. And he's like just hanging out in his son's room. That was a little weird, but I got it once the movie started. It didn't make sense beforehand, but I got it. That was really cool. The director did like a little opening, saying thank you for coming to Calgary Underground Film Festival, and was really excited that his movie was going to be playing at this festival.
Opening it, no less.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, really, really cool. And you know what? When I saw that, especially because it was on a webcam, I'll be honest, I was kind of nervous about the movie, but it's awesome. This movie is really, really awesome. It's really silly and goofy. It doesn't take itself seriously at at all, like
It's a
even for a
zombie movie, but
nanosecond.
that barely matters.
Yeah, the zombie stuff is really the stuff that I care the least about. And when I heard that we were seeing a zombie movie first, I was a little bit hesitant just because we have become just so oversaturated with zombie movies that I felt like maybe and like as far as like the general plot goes, it's samey shit, right?
It plays it a little safey a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Even like the trope of the bad guy turning into a good person by the end because of zombies.
Yeah,
I've seen that before many times.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun. And then hitting zombies with various weapons. You know, like it's
I mean,
like
there's like, what else can we do with zombies, right? we've
we
had enough of it.
Yeah, we all know the rules. You can only kill him by hitting him in the head. You know,
Even fucking Romero was like tired of it by the end. He's like, I don't know what else to do with these fucking things.
yeah. And Romero was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make them bad. What if I just start making the movies bad?
Diary of the Dead, baby.
Diary of the Dead, one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. But this movie, first thing that you're gonna notice about this movie is that this movie's really crass, like to the point where like I don't know the last time I saw a movie that had the word "fuck" in it as much as this movie. It's like every second word in this movie.
I don't know if I noticed that.
Oh, it's a lot. It's in it a lot. And then Josh Gad just pulls out the C word, and everyone in the theater collectively cringes except for Buck, who's yucking
I
it
was
up.
laughing it up.
Yucking it up.
Laughing hard.
Yeah. So what this movie is really about is that it's actually like the general idea of it is really fun because it's a zombie outbreak that takes place during a school field trip. Lupita Nyong'o plays the teacher, and she's like the calm, collective soul who loves
so
the kids,
good.
and
She's so
she
good.
is so good.
Like this compared to us, it's like a
Different
completely different role.
different
and it's just
person,
like,
yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and then you look at like Maz Kanata in Star Wars, you're like, different lady.
She plays Maz Kanata.
Yeah, she plays Maz Kanata, player. You didn't know that? Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o plays.
I don't know anything about JJ.
JJ did it, dude. JJ did it.
JJ didn't do it.
That is what I do know. That's the only thing I know about JJ is that he did it. But yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, fucking incredible in this movie. I like the pairing between her and what's the name of the guy? It's Alexander something.
Alexander England.
Alexander England. I was gonna say Alexander London, but that didn't sound right. But Alexander,
Close.
yeah, it's pretty close.
See, it's the island, buddy.
Alexander England, who is basically just poor man's Chris Hemsworth, but I still like it. Like I still really like him. I think that him and Lupita have like really great chemistry.
I do think his character is almost too obvious. Like it's just so obvious.
Yeah, and the transition from being like a bad boy to a nice man is a little bit too quick. But of course, the movie takes place over 2 days, so they kind of have to speed it up.
Sure.
Because here's the problem with this movie is that I really like where it's going. Like I really love this movie, and the zombies is the thing that I care the least about. Like I almost kind of wish that it was just kind of a weird romantic comedy, you know, at times without the zombies. But I mean, the zombies had to be there, I guess, as sort of a.
Well, it makes it a movie.
It's a plot. Yeah, it's a plot device. Yeah, sure. The zombies have to act as a plot device. But I think there's something else that we could have done this with this. Because I really love the characters, and I would love to see these characters in a different setting. Like some of my favorite shit is just at the beginning of the movie, you know, like when probably the funniest scene in this entire movie is when he walks in on his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend having sex with the real estate agent. That is so goddamn funny. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Packed house, people were loving it. Very funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The house was yucking, dude. And here's the thing. I was laughing pretty loud, obnoxiously loud.
You were slapping your knee. You were being so obnoxious.
Yeah. But the people around us, they were laughing just as hard, so Buck wasn't as pissed as he usually is when I start laughing.
No, I don't care if you laugh.
Oh, dude.
I get mad when people start talking and using their cell phones. And
That's
stuff.
true. Oh, which, by the way, that fucking guy 3 rows behind us, shut up, player.
Yeah, that guy's
We're-
always at these shit.
We're
Just talking.
We're at a film
Just
festival,
like
player.
reciting lines.
Yeah, he's just repeating the jokes back.
Bro, I was there.
I'm at the movie. I'm here.
I'm here, dog.
Guess who's funny? Alexander England. You know who not funny? You're not in the movie.
Random guy 3 rows back.
Yeah, not funny.
Hurting the experience. I do like that they put up a nice no texting, no talking sign this year.
Yeah, no recording.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cuff knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and here's the thing. For them, other than that fucking guy, really great audience.
Sure.
Really, really respectful audience. Everybody shut up. They watch the movie, which is like what I expect from a festival audience in general. It's not always what you get from a festival audience, but it's what I expect because these are people who are out here to engage in art.
Sure.
They're these aren't fucking people bringing their gremlins to see Hellboy. There was kids next to me at Hellboy, by the way.
What, the rated R film?
Yeah, the R-rated film. I turned to Fallon. I'm like, this movie is 18-8. I don't know if this dad knows what's up.
The dad didn't care, dude.
Yeah, and then I looked
He was
over
trying
at
to
him,
see
and
some titties, but there wasn't any.
he was wearing sweatpants, and I'm like, oh, dad knows. Yeah, I think he knows.
I really liked the director mentioned that this is like a love letter to kindergarten teachers, and
Yeah.
they really do make her a badass, and she owns it. I love.
Yeah, and her character is definitely the best character in the movie because she does have like those badass moments, but she's still just such a kind soul.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, almost too much to a point. But then like there's the scene where it explains her vulnerability, sort of like in a little bit of exposition it's in a predictable
It's a bit corny.
Yeah, a little bit corny in a corny way, but it works I think perfectly well for this movie because this movie
it's not trying to be serious.
yeah, like
It's
I
a
said,
zombie comedy.
it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's just really, really silly. It's people throwing around the fuck word.
What's going on with New Zealand and Australia? They only make horror comedies now.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only films I've seen. What we got the Deathgasm, what we do in the shadows. We got this movie. That's all they want to make. Maybe it's all they can make. Maybe it's all they're allowed to make.
Well, I mean, like that's what Peter Jackson was famous for, right? Like,
yeah, that's true. Like Brain Dead. Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's all that they bring over here. I mean, I'm sure Australia has a bustling film industry.
Well, they definitely make movies.
Yeah, they definitely make movies.
I've seen Australia.
Oh, with Hugh Jackman.
What was that other one that they always play like Ned?
I don't. Ned Kelly.
Yes, Ned Kelly. They're very proud of that movie. But
that one sucks.
They also didn't they make Wolf Creek? That's like a full-on horror movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I here's the thing about Wolf Creek. I got about 5 minutes into that bad boy.
It's about a farmer in the outback that lures people into like a crevasse and murders them.
Yeah, I shut it off pretty quick. That movie is, from what I could tell, quite bad.
You're trash. You're a trash person.
But this movie, I really like. Because here's the thing about all those horror comedies that I just listed. I like them all. I really do. I like them all. I think that Australia has something going. If it is really what they're doing, obviously what we do in the shadows is like, some next level shit.
Well, it's Taika.
Yeah, it's Taika, who is a genius and needs to be making more shit.
All right, let's ease up on the dick sucking of Taika here.
You're the one who started the dick sucking on Taika.
I said he was good.
Oh yeah, that's true. But this movie, it's really here's what I noticed about this movie too is that it's fun to look at.
Yeah.
It's shot really well, first of all, but second of all, there's great use of colors in this movie. Because like most zombie movies, I feel have a really bland, like a bland appearance, like almost like they put like a fucking sand filter on over it.
Well, this takes place at a family fun park, and
yeah,
Lupita's wearing a bright yellow dress. We've talked about how good she is, but like everybody's pretty good in this.
Yeah,
like Josh Gad is like just
Josh Gad's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Like Josh Gad has a monologue about how much he loves to fuck moms, and it's amazing. Like he's actually really good in this movie.
Yeah.
Obviously his character is quite tongue in cheek. He plays like the star of a kid show. Yeah, a star of a kid show. Who in the midst of the zombie apocalypse becomes
Death to Smoochie type.
Yeah, a Death to Smoochie type. That's actually a great example. Yeah, a Death to Smoochie type, swearing up a storm. He's fucking Rainbow Randolph up in this motherfucker.
I love that movie.
Me too, actually.
Even the kids are pretty good. Like I identify with the main kid too because I'm also allergic to everything.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
And at the point when he stabs himself with the EpiPen, like that would fuck you up pretty bad. That's just like a shot of adrenaline.
Yeah, absolutely. But the kid is good though. Like the kid, like as far as like an actual performance goes, that kid is really good, and that's
for a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
he's actually 5.
For a 5-year-old or for however old he is.
I don't know how old kids are. I'm not Bryan Singer.
He's I can't speak to that. Oh, please don't. But yeah, it's a really fun movie. It's like 90 minutes, and I didn't have a moment where I wasn't genuinely entertained by what was happening on screen. Yeah, it's corny. It's super predictable.
It's goofy.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I don't think that's necessarily bad.
The whole thing with Lupita Nyong'o, her fiance, saw it coming from 10 million miles away. But you know, I wouldn't be. I couldn't even fucking glimpse it. I saw it from so far away.
I understand like the Alexander England's like character arc. I get it, but like also. It's so obvious.
Yeah,
it's so obvious.
It goes exactly the route that you think it's going to go at the beginning of the movie.
But it saves itself by being, entertaining the entire time.
Yeah, and they use a lot of like when they're being crass in this movie, they use a lot of really fun like wordplay. Or like not wordplay, but there's like a fun mix of words. Like there's a part where he says slutty vagina. That's just a fun thing to hear.
You were laughing at slutty vagina real hard. That is actually the point when you slapped your knee like a cartoon villain.
Like
you were slapping your knee
like a fucking hillbilly.
A cartoon hillbilly.
Yeah, dude. When he was saying slutty vagina, dude, I was laughing my ass off. I actually really like this movie. I think it's a really strong opener.
I didn't really
for the
know
festival.
what to expect because I haven't really watched, besides like High Life and stuff. I haven't watched any trailers for anything we're seeing at this. Festival.
Yeah, other than the stuff, because there was trailers that played before the movie.
Sure,
those are the only trailers I
didn't
saw.
reveal anything.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything either, which is great. I want to walk into these
Harpoon
movies
looks
completely
tight,
blind.
though.
Yeah,
Harpoon looks good.
yeah. I remember after Harpoon went, because like you know the schedule better than I do. I turned to you, I'm like, "Are we seeing that one?" You're like, "Yeah, we're seeing that."
Oh yeah, we're seeing that one.
Hell yeah, we're seeing that. Yeah, so I think it was a really, really strong opener for the festival. It set a specific tone for what we can expect in the days to come. However, a lot of those look like they're real serious movies just based on the short trailers we saw. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see a nice variety of films.
Well, where do you put this on the Chadsky scale? If you're a new listener, we have something called the Chadsky scale. Someone recommended we have it, so now we have it.
Because it used to be very confusing whether or not we like the films or not.
Yeah, because we never rated it.
Because we could talk shit about a fucking rock movie for 40 minutes and then be like 5 stars.
5 stars. The Meg.
Yeah.
If you're a new listener, go back and listen to our point by point breakdown on the Meg. That's our best episode.
Yeah,
sure, bar none.
That's by far our best episode. Yeah, if I had to plant this one on the Chadsky scale, now I just finished watching it, so like my opinion on it hasn't completely formed, but I would say it's a 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a 4. It's a 4-star on the Chadsky scale. This is a lot of fun. Shall we run into our Universal Monster Retrospective?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's talk about Son of Frankenstein.
Hell yeah.
I like this one fine.
I like this one.
Yeah, I think
had a good time with this.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is the second time I've seen it, and I liked it way more the second time.
It's okay. This one introduces the character of Igor, who, of course, now is famous and often depicted as Frankenstein's original.
Sure.
That
is what's confusing about this. Was he Fritz and then turned into Igor?
Well, there was somebody named Fritz, and if you go on the IMDb, there is somebody who plays the character of Fritz, who, might I add, was in the first Frankenstein movie, which took place 60 years previous, and he died. So I had so many questions.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible Igor was Fritz, but I think Igor might be just sort of his own thing.
Okay.
That
was very unclear to me.
Now, because here's the thing: is that Fritz is a hunchback and Igor is not.
Oh, he just has a broken neck.
Yeah, he just has a broken neck.
Which I found hilarious, by the way. Bela Lugosi playing Igor, and he's really leaning into it, too.
Yeah, he's got those shitty teeth. Dude, Bela Lugosi is the best actor in the world because you could look at Dracula and you could look at Igor, different guy. That's a different, like, it's not
Are
even
you sure it's not just like the shitty prosthetics that's doing it? Or?
Like they're doing all the walking for Igor?
Yeah, they're doing the walking for Igor.
I don't know, but like it really feels like a completely different person. I see absolutely like almost no parallels between the two.
Bela Lugosi is great, and I do like that once we get deeper into these Universal monster movies, they kind of just have all these actors, and they're like, let's just put them in whatever movie.
So this one, this one is one of those, like the early Avengers movies, like where they weren't too sure if they were actually going to do the Avengers.
Yeah.
And then like they started making it really obvious by having like Samuel Jackson just roll up in all of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's kind of what this movie is that it's suddenly become incredibly abundant that they're going to try and mesh all of these together.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that soon.
Yeah.
But this really is the original MCU. This is the original like franchise, and
Yeah.
in a time where they didn't really make sequels because people didn't see the first one a
It's
lot
like
of the time.
yeah, it's like a shared universe.
But by the time we get to like the next one, Invisible Man Returns, that's when they started just selling these to TV. So
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
so we'll get to those, and then that's where they really just have all the monsters together because they just wanted to make something entertaining for TV, essentially.
Yeah. But this one, like, you can tell because the other ones, like the Invisible Man and I imagine Wolfman, which we haven't seen yet, all take place in like at the time modern setting.
Sure.
And so Frankenstein, because it takes place in the late 1800s, they're like, we gotta
Let's move it up.
Yeah, let's move it up. So we're gonna call the new one Son of Frankenstein. And we're gonna skip all the Frankenstein's life. Son of Frankenstein. Frankenstein's son is now in his 40s.
Wolf von
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
Baron Wolf, dude.
Which is a badass name, by the way. I'm changing my name to Wolf von Frankenstein. But also, what I find comedic is in the last one we watched, Dracula's Daughter. That was about Dracula's daughter. Son of Frankenstein. We ain't talking about the monster here, player.
Yeah.
We're talking about the real son of Frankenstein, the guy.
It seriously took me 15 minutes. It took me 15 minutes for me to realize that. I'm like,
Played by one of my favorites of the era, Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, and he's really good.
He's
yeah.
amazing. If you may know him from I think the 30s Robin Hood and like the 30s Zorro. He plays like those kind of guys. Like
Wasn't he? Didn't he play Sherlock Holmes in the 30s franchise?
yeah, he might have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was
I
him.
know him from Robin Hood mostly though,
Yeah.
and Zorro.
But I also just really like that character.
Yeah, it's a good character.
Because like in Dracula's Daughter, this character is actually kind of like full circle. This is like an actual
Sure, 'cause
person.
he realizes like what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
in like a very real way, because it's like children are in danger and shit.
Yeah,
and, like,
and so it's much more relatable stakes in this movie, I feel. And then but here's the problem with this movie. As far as these Universal monster movies go, this one's way too long. This one's an hour and 40, which like doesn't sound like that long.
pretty
for a
long, but
movie.
it's not really much monster work. It's more of just Igor trying to get back at the people that hung him, so he's using the monster to kill them.
Yeah, which is like the shit I do like.
It's good. It is good. Like,
But
it's a great concept.
It's dry for the first hour, I'd say. Like the first hour is dry. The last 40, 45
That's great
minutes
when they
of stuff
just start
is-
throwing stuff into the tar pit. That's just in the lab for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say that tar pit that just appeared there.
Yeah.
Which is great.
But one thing I noticed is like this one, like it really does like have that gothic style to it. They like lean heavy on the mist.
Yeah,
like it's a well shot movie.
It's
I
a really
like
great
looking
looking
at this
movie.
and like the sets, they're all like minimalist, like German expressionist era. Like they took a lot from like Fritz Lang and those guys.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm not sure I like about this movie is that because like sequels were so scarce back then, this movie does just feel like a sequel to Frankenstein the book. And almost seems to kind of retcon the existence of Bride of Frankenstein as a whole.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's sort of like it takes a step back and like Frankenstein can't talk anymore and like
Smoke.
Yeah, good smoke. Yeah, Frankenstein doesn't really talk anymore, which is like I was really excited to see that character, form more intelligent thoughts.
Sure.
And see like how that was going to be, like brought into new films.
It does like for a Frankenstein movie. There's not that much Frankenstein monster anyway. So the Wolf on Frankenstein, great character. Igor, great character. Then you could just got like the captain with the fake arm. And like the entire bit is he has a fake arm just so Frankenstein can grab it at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's just like the funniest meta joke of all time.
And they keep saying like Frankenstein came into my room and he tore my arm off, and it's like, but that didn't happen in the movie. So I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like you're lying.
Yeah.
I do like that they played on Frankenstein's softer side, the monster of Frankenstein's softer side, where he sort of befriends
But I mean,
the
they
young
did
kid.
that in the first one, and then he throws her in the water.
Yeah.
With that little girl.
Yeah, and in this one he almost throws the kid in the tar pit. But
I
then,
wish he would have thrown the kid in the tar pit.
Yeah,
I was really hoping for it.
well, and he's
Because I love when he's throwing stuff in the tar pit, dude.
Yeah.
When he starts wrecking the lab and throwing shit in the tar pit, I'm like, this is the shit I like right here.
This is the shit that I'm in for. It's a pretty fun movie. I don't think it's perfect, especially considering the films that it's predecessing. Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein are
Sure.
two of the best films ever made, maybe. And this one here is it's okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's just because like I always knew that I like the Dracula shit, you like the Invisible Man shit, but that Frankenstein shit was for both of us.
Yeah, we all agree on this.
Yeah, the Frankenstein shit is for all. But this one, like, it's got its merits. It does. It really has a lot of merits, but it's really not as good, especially comparatively to the first two films.
I would agree with that, but by itself, I think it is a very good movie. Like just the like it's well structured, especially for the time. Like it has some very good.
And
like,
I think this
character
movie.
development.
Yeah, I agree, but I think this movie would be better if you didn't watch the first two.
Maybe
First, because we just watched the first two, and because it does so much retconning of Bride and
Well,
Frankenstein.
that's how I
which,
felt during Dracula's Daughter, which you did not feel.
Yeah, which by the way, for our listeners who haven't been listening, and for those who have been listening, let me remind you that Bride of Frankenstein is the greatest fucking movie ever made.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and so having to follow that is a tough mission regardless. But I like this movie just fine. I'm gonna throw it at 3 on the chat.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I didn't like it as much the first time I saw it, but on a rewatch, I think there's like some really good stuff here. You do have to distance yourself from Frankenstein a little bit,
Yeah.
but I do really like this movie. I think it's a fun one.
Yeah. Also, at the beginning of the movie, everyone's like, "We don't want that guy to come here because he's gonna fuck everything up," and you're like, "Wow, that's really rude of them." And then he immediately fucks everything up.
Hell yeah, this is America.
Yeah. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. So let's talk about our last film of the day.
Hell yeah.
This is Warner Brothers' Curse of La Llorona.
No, not Lay, dude. It's La.
La Llorona. Okay. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna give this another swing, dude. The Curse of La Llorona. So this is, of course, the new film from Michael Graves in the Conjuring franchise.
Ooh, and
James-
boy, is it a Conjuring movie.
Oh,
Boy,
it's-
is it just the Conjuring almost to a T.
it's to a T, but also worse.
Yeah. Obviously, that's a 5-star movie. I fucking love The Conjuring.
The Conjuring is amazing. This movie, however, is kind of boring, you know?
It's almost as generic as you can get when it comes to one of these modern horror movies.
Yeah, I described it as such. I described it as such. It's like, hey, you seen The Conjuring? They're like, yeah. And it's like, you've seen this movie. You got a lady.
And that is the problem, whereas the villain isn't really that interesting, La Llorona. It's just it's a crying woman that drowns kids.
Yeah, it's-
okay,
okay.
but like fine, but you show it too much.
You show it way too much and not scary, but also it's just another fucking ghost. Oh my god.
That is the problem with this franchise is they keep going back to the same well. When you got the crooked man just
Waiting there,
just
yeah.
out on third base, like, guys, let me in here.
How many times are they gonna push back that Crooked Man movie, dude? That movie better, when it comes out, that better be the most 5 out of 5
Yeah, that
banger
better
of
be
all
scary
time.
as fuck. So we went to the pre-screening and we were sitting up front, and like at these pre-screenings they're normally pretty full.
Yeah,
This
and-
one had like 20 people.
yeah, there wasn't that many people. Not that many people come out for horror
No,
pre-screenings.
they're too scary. So we were sitting up front like we usually do, and some guy came up to us. He's like, "Do you guys want to sit further back?" And we're like, "What the fuck?
No?
No."
Why would we want that,
I
sir?
picked up front because that's where I want to sit.
I came in. There was nobody in here when I walked in, and I chose this seat specifically.
I'm like, this is the ideal spot.
Yeah.
Because as you know, if you listen to the show, we are pioneers of making the front row great again.
Yeah, because the front row is the best place to sit. It used to not be the case, however.
Not be the case.
It used to not be the case. However, people text too much during movies now, and if you sit up front, you're less likely to see that shit. Yeah.
Don't see that shit.
Don't see that shit. Also, don't text during a movie. If I say it enough on this podcast, people are just going to stop
I threw a
doing
lady's
it.
phone the other day. I don't know if we talked about that on the pod. I think we ignored it.
Yeah, I think that was at the Shazam
Yeah,
pre-screening.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
tossed it around.
I grabbed her phone and threw it.
Yeah, she was not happy with that. Well.
Don't put the light on your phone.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Curse of La Llorona. See, this movie's so generic that I forgot that's what we were talking about. So the plot of this movie is, and like I can't make this shit up. This is actually what this movie's about. You got a single mom. She got kids. There's your vulnerability. Ghost in the house. And then Tuco from Breaking Bad comes in. They light a bunch of candles.
Oh, you
and
mean
then
Brown Ray Liotta?
Yeah, Ray Liotta comes into the house. They light all the candles, and then the ghost is banished.
Well, that's a bit of an oversimplification, but if you want to just fly through this, that's fine.
Sure, but realistically, that's what the movie's about. I'm sorry, is this Babadook? Is this The Grudge? Is this The Ring? Is this every fucking movie that's come out in the past 15 fucking years in this genre?
Yeah.
It's just so
Well, as far as like
plain.
mainstream horror goes, this is like the pinnacle of what it is.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, we got Linda Cardellini out here looking exactly like a '70s mom.
And you know what?
Doing work. She's a good actor.
You know, if the dialogue wasn't so bad, I would think that she's doing a good job. I think she's working with the material the best that
Sure.
she can. But the movie is just like, I don't know what else to say other than it's boring because basically it follows exactly how you think it would.
It's extremely convenient. Everything about it's extremely convenient.
Yeah, and it barrels from scene to scene pretty quickly, which is one thing that I do
Well, it is
appreciate
90s,
about
so it doesn't
Yeah.
waste your time.
Yeah, it does. It does not waste your time. It's 90 minutes.
But
Basically,
to be fair, what did you expect from this movie exactly? Because this is exactly what I expected to a T.
I guess this is exactly what I expected.
Like,
but
were you expecting your mind to be blown by an offshoot Conjuring movie?
well, I mean, Annabelle creation. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
But
And they mastered the daytime scares, and now they're putting those into the rest of their movies.
yeah, but here's the thing: is that there's daytime scares in this movie. However,
Plot point.
they do say that Ray Liotta can only attack at night, and but that's also they say that after a day attack has already occurred.
True.
So I don't know if it was just like they don't fully understand the ghost, or if the movie just they weren't paying attention when they wrote the script. I imagine it's
That's
the latter.
probably that. That's probably what's going on. This one does like lean pretty hard onto the jump scares, but like
It's and it doesn't really feel like it's interested in exploring any other type of horror. It's just cheap tricks over and over again. It's just like a hand coming out of a curtain.
yeah, which
All
we love.
the time. Yeah, which we do love. But you know what I noticed about this movie?
What's that?
And I just couldn't. I thought about it for so long. In this movie, this lady has a million fucking lamps. There's like 5 fucking lamps in every goddamn room. I noticed it like 20
Well,
minutes.
if you don't
into
have
the movie.
lamps, how can you turn them off in the set production?
Yeah, there's just like every room has so many lamps.
It was the 70s.
And I'm like,
It was the 70s, B.
dude, in the 70s.
You ever been to your grandma's house? A lot of lamps, dude.
There's just so many lamps. There's like a part where there's like a lamp on a dresser, and adjacent to that dresser is another dresser with a lamp on it. I was so confused.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many lamps in my life.
God, I love this Ray Liotta character just like out here lighting candles and using kids as bait.
Yeah.
I was really hoping more. Like, there's a lot of drowning in this, but I was hoping more kids would die.
Yeah, and like there was even like a point in this
That's
movie.
also my problem with Little Monsters. There's no kids.
There's like even like a point in this movie where Linda Cardellini says to these kids, she's like, "You guys are gonna be safe tonight." And I turned to you and I immediately said, "2 kids gonna die tonight." And then they immediately die.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it starts off perfectly fine enough, but then it really delves into like the haunting shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that is the main problem, is that it is so much just every other modern horror movie, every blockbuster modern horror.
I've seen this movie. Like, I walked out of that movie, like, genuinely wondering if I actually saw this movie last year somehow.
I don't know. I don't think I had as bad time as you. I thought it was exactly what it was supposed to be.
I mean, there's a few jump scares that are effective, but like I said, that's really the only cheap trick. I didn't have, like, a terrible time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And just the more I think about it, the more I realize how plain and bland this is in this genre. Like, it doesn't bear any weight to this genre. It doesn't do anything for horror. It doesn't do anything for The Conjuring.
Sure, it's no Jordan Peele.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Peele's out here fucking working. Michael Graves, on the other hand, working less.
I don't even know who that is.
He directed this movie. I don't know who he is. I just know he directed this movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I don't really like this movie that much. I think it's okay at times, but I'm gonna land this one at a 2-star on the Chatsky scale.
I think it's exactly what it wants to be in the Conjuring universe, and I'll give it a 3-star. Don't watch it in theaters, though. Don't pay for this. Watch
yeah,
it on Netflix.
absolutely don't watch it, and certainly don't even rent
I'm also
it.
a big fan of The Nun too, so that's my opinion is already
Yeah, your opinion's tarnished because that movie is also bad.
no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's better than this one.
But here's the thing: is that at this point, Annabelle Creation is the only Conjuring spinoff that I've liked, and the rest of like between Annabelle, The Nun, and this,
Well, what's funny about the Conjuring universe is the only one I don't like is the first Annabelle.
Oh yeah, because I guess you like this one, yeah.
I like it fine.
And you like
I don't think it's particularly
Good.
groundbreaking.
Certainly not.
It's fine.
But like, what does it add? Like, that's the question. Like, they mention Annabelle at one point, but what does it actually add to the mythos? Like,
But that's not what I'm judging a movie on.
yeah, that's a fair point.
I'm not judging the Avengers on what Nick Cage is doing, dude.
You mean Nick Fury?
Whatever. Those movies.
God, Nick Cage does need to be in the Avengers.
Why isn't
somewhere.
Nick Cage in the Avengers?
Dude, why isn't John Hamm a superhero? These are the questions.
Brendan Fraser?
Why isn't Brendan Fraser Nick Fury?
That's true. Now we're
That's-
getting somewhere.
Yeah. Can we have Ultimate Nick Fury and it be a white guy? Oh, there it is. That's very funny, actually. Oh man,
Oh boy. Problematic.
It's certainly problematic. Hey, excuse me, Podcast Bot 8000.
Actually, we're gonna have to explain this lore a little bit.
Hello, Buck.
Okay, so if you guys haven't listened to the show before, there's a lot of characters, and one of them is this podcast robot that we stole from Brian Singer's house.
Brian Singer's house, a boy party.
He's a young boy robot that is our manager, I guess.
I manage, and then Podcast Bot 5000 does the schedule.
Right? There's another podcast bot. We didn't
Yeah.
get to him, but I'm sure you'll see it in the further episodes if you continue to listen.
If you're listening to the Calgary Underground Film Festival stuff, which you should, Podcast Bot 5000 will certainly make an appearance.
All right, so what are we watching tomorrow, Podcast Bot?
Hey, guys, since you're continuing on your Calgary Underground Film Festival, you'll be watching the following films: Body at Brighton Rock and Her Smell. Only a couple. That's actually going to be nice, especially because we got so many
That'll be
coming
tight.
up. Yeah, that's going to be really
These are
good.
going to be tight episodes. They're going to be nice.
Yeah, they're going to be nice. They're
A
going to be
nice
nice
length.
35-minute episodes.
Show up on
Perfect.
Sunday for the hour episodes that are just nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna scream about, dude. The Sunday episode's gonna be really long because we're gonna have to scream about that Avengers movie for 3 hours.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. So roll up for that. Make sure to continue checking out the Calgary Underground Film Festival. That's gonna be going live tomorrow night, probably pretty late tomorrow night because I think it goes till about 11 tomorrow. Then after we'll have to sit here and podcast. We'll have to record and then get it up hopefully by about midnight.
Either way, you're listening to it on your morning commute. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be hearing it. You'll be hearing it. Just pop it in the car.
Where can they find us on the social media there, Chadley?
You can check us out on Instagram at Movie Epidemic. That's really active right now as we are taking tons of pictures at the Calgary Underground Film Festival. You can check us out on Twitter, also at Movie Epidemic, and Facebook at Punch Nerds Movie Epidemic. If you like one of us and not the other, and you don't want to take both of our nonsense, you can follow us individually on Twitter. Buck Hollywood Leduc is at Last Cool Dude, and I am at Chadley the Movie. Thanks for tuning in. Check it out tomorrow. I'm really excited. We're going to have a really fun week. I'm already exhausted.